Gentlemen, I invite you to kick back in that lunch hour, and I really hope you will enjoy my presentation. Imagine a time and place where destiny hung in the balance and where a young child, his future was shaped by a single powerful belief that would transform him into a legendary leader. Today, I want to transport you to 19th century South Africa, to the world where beliefs and words held the key to a remarkable journey. I'd like to introduce you to a name that resonates through the annals of history, Shaka Zulu. But it is not just the name that's intriguing, it's the incredible story of how a mother's unwavering belief in her son's destiny set in motion a chain of events that would forever change the course of his life. You see, the words we use and the thoughts we think become our beliefs and have a profound influence on our actions and ultimately on our destinies. It's a topic that has fascinated me for years, and I believe that Shaka's story beautifully illustrates this principle. So let's journey back to the early 19th century in South Africa, Shaka Zulu, a name synonymous with power and leadership. He was just a child at the time, but his future was already being shaped. It all began with a dream or prophecy from Nandi, Shaka's mother, dreamed that her son would become a great king. She believed in this prophecy wholeheartedly, and the belief would become a cornerstone of Shaka's upbringing. Nandi didn't keep this belief to herself. She nurtured it in young Shaka. She kept telling him, "Son, you will become a king." And her words and unwavering conviction instilled in him a sense of purpose, ambition, and a belief that he was destined for greatness. And as history unfolded, Shaka Zulu indeed became a powerful and influential leader. He united the Zulu people and expanded the territory through his innovative military strategies. His mother's belief in his destiny played a role in his remarkable ascent. This story is a reminder that our beliefs and the words we hear, speak, and think can shape our actions, and in turn, our outcomes. The beliefs we hold, the words we choose to embrace, can be the catalyst for remarkable change. And just as Shaka Zulu's mother believed that his destiny is to become a king, and by believing in your own potential and the power of your words, you can shape your future. And as Albert Einstein said a long time ago, the world we have created, it is a process of our thinking, and it cannot be changed without changing our thinking. And that applies to not just the world in general, that applies to the life of every individual, your life. Because all you have and all you don't have is a result of your beliefs. The beliefs that you had in the past and the beliefs that you still hold right now. What we think matters. What we believe matters. What does not matter is whether what you believe is actually true or not. That's the power of belief. we act upon what we believe to be true. And by now, you might be wondering how it all relates to the topic of my presentation, right? Like the secret to emotional control in trading. What is she talking about? And I promise you, it has a direct correlation, and I will get to it really soon. But first, for those of you who do not know me, I am Agnieszka Wood, and I was born in Poland at the time of communist regime. I was brought up in a Catholic family of 6, which included my grandma, my parents, my brother, and my sister. My grandma lived with us since I was born, and we lived in 600 square feet apartment with 6 of us, plus the dog. It will become very soon clear to you why I'm mentioning those details. This period of my life has shaped me as a person and formed a basis that I carried through to my adulthood. And I don't know if any of you have the experience of growing up in the place where you were not living in abundance and where you saw your parents struggling to make ends meet. Did any of you have experienced that? Yes, because you see, I have seen growing up my father regularly leaving the country for extended period of times so he could work abroad and bring some money to the table, right? To help us be able to survive. So my parents were working really hard to make the ends meet, and that had a huge impact on the family. Also, my father living for extended period of times, but also what it did was instilled a strong drive in me to become independent and to start working. It's not so much working, to start making money as soon as I could. And I started working directly after finishing high school. I started working full time and went to private college on the weekends. And in 1998, I graduated with management and marketing degree and left Poland and emigrated to the Netherlands to start a new chapter of my life. This was a really pivotal time in my life. It was a pivotal step, not just because I was in a new place, but also because I became a stepmother of 3 young children that my new husband had from his previous marriage. And mind you, I was just 23 years old. Moreover, they were all agnostic, and I was Catholic, and they were not baptized, which completely blew my mind because I truly believed that at that time that without being baptized, a child cannot survive. And this period of time challenged many of my beliefs that I had so far, the way that I grew up and was taught. I knew that I had to start thinking differently if I was built a happy life there. So I needed to look beyond what I knew and what I believed so far. And it all started changing very quickly in 1999, where I attended a 3-day private teaching from Dalai Lama, who came to visit Den Haag. And that was just the beginning of my deep transformation. My views on religion, spirituality, human potential were changing really rapidly. And very soon after, I started studying neuro-linguistic programming. People call it NLP as well. I studied timeline therapy, which has to do with your traumatic experiences in the past. I studied family constellations from Bert Hellinger, German psychologist. I became Reiki master, working with energy, which was, in my Catholic upbringing, absolutely outrageous. And I was completely absorbed in the teachings of Deepak Chopra. I've read many of books of Tony Robbins and began to study Ayurvedic medicine. This new direction became my true passion. After I finished my NLP trainer education, I became a life coach. I was not even 30 years old at that time, but I was growing fast and my life was changing rapidly. And I decided to continue my life independently and got divorced. I did stay in the Netherlands and I was pretty much on my own because my whole family was living in Poland. And I started corporate job, travel the world. And I was pushing myself to the limit. I was very ambitious and I knew I wanted to achieve more and finally got a burnout. So I went to see psychotherapists and started digging into some of my childhood traumas. It was a very revealing time and I did not completely got into it. I wasn't ready then yet. And I knew that there was some more self-discovery work to be done. Fast forward to 2010. I met a wonderful guy, an American guy, that became later my husband. And a couple of years after we met, we moved to the US. He was the one who introduced me to trading. I, of course, immediately opened a trading account because I was very enthusiastic about the potential, new challenge. And becoming a trader was another pivotal moment in my life. After an initial, very short-lived success, I got stuck in a failing cycle for 2 years, cried my eyes out, and lost a lot of money. Trading really forced me to confront all of my old beliefs that I was still carrying from my childhood, and they were making me act against my interest. And I had to face them and change them. And that process completely reversed the course of my trading. And it was not an easy thing to do because you have to be prepared to make yourself vulnerable and to face the things that you might not want to see. Things about yourself. But I can tell you it was worth it. And I can easily say that trading helped me to become happy and truly free human being, mentally, emotionally, and financially. And in 2019, I took all of my knowledge and experience that I just told you about and more. And I started a head coach to help other traders to achieve the same. I am on the mission to help traders detach from their beliefs that do not serve them, that basically limit them and keep them stuck in that failing cycle. And I help them to create a life of true freedom and abundance. And I am very passionate about the potential that we all have and exploring the power of beliefs, because our beliefs are in control of our life. They can give you power or take your power away. But you are in control of what you choose to believe in. So let's talk about the secret to emotional control, that thing that everyone is waiting for, right? So as a trading mindset coach, I get these questions from traders all the time. How can I control my emotions? So let me ask you, and let me know in the chat, what is the reason why you as a trader, and I assume you are a trader since you are here, or maybe you are planning to become a trader, why would you like to control your emotions in trading? Let me know in the chat why you as a trader would like to control your emotions. More pleasant experiences. Greg says, I want to follow my well thought out plan and not get moved off my plan because of emotions. Peter says, impulse. L. Clark says, I like the understanding of emotional intelligence in trading. Very, very great expression, emotional intelligence. I also like using emotional immunity so that you actually can build immunity to your emotions so that you can still experience them, because it's a human experience, emotion. That emotion is what drives you to take action. We don't want to get rid of that, right? But you can get build more immunity to it. I don't want to look in the mirror. It's not easy. It's not easy. But the thing is that once you do, and you change, you start looking from a different perspective, the things you look at begin to change. So maybe the things that you don't like right now, if you look at them from a different angle, they might be actually really nice. Because emotions will control you, says Danny. Richard says, and avoiding mistakes. Dave says, improve consistency of trading process and the results. Very good. This is all fantastic. Avoiding mistakes, trading and exits. Fantastic. Controlling one's emotions connected to what decision someone makes when trading live. Come prepared for the day. I don't need them while trading. Needs to be well-informed decision to emotional one. Very good. Hi, Gustavo. To follow my plan without my thoughts affecting me. Yes, so basically, if you take this all into one, the reason why you want to control emotions is because then you can decide how you react, right? Whether it's trading or otherwise. So if you behave out of emotions, you cannot control your behavior, right? So in order to control your behavior, you want to be in control of how you feel at any given moment, right? So let's play a game, all right? I will show you a few pictures and you let me know in the chat, what do you see on those pictures? Okay? So what do you see here? Let me know in the chat. What do you see on this picture? And I don't think you guys can see each other answers, so I'm gonna read it once. Everyone writes, and then I'm gonna say what everyone said. Okay. All right. Need some more. All right. Very good. I'm gonna tell you in a second. So we are all looking at the same picture, right? So here we have swimming, water and someone drowning, jumping out of the water, cry for help, someone drowning, drowning person, struggling in the water, someone either diving into the water or coming up from below the surface, splashing, very different point of view, struggling with the water, more cool, you can clearly see as its hormones are in this balance, cortisol is high, drowning, hence splashing out of the water. All right, that was an easy one. Having a good time. How about this one? What do you see here? And I understand that you can actually see your answers from each other, so don't look. Don't look in a chat before you give your answer. Okay, so we've got here bad smell, straining to see something, frustrated driver, I got stuck in traffic again, constipation, sun in her eyes, confusion, upset stomach, not having a good time, cute girl, danger ahead, traffic frustration. All right, so you see, all looking at the same picture, different story. Trees. Very good. She's disappointed about other drivers. So you see, you even see other drivers here on the picture. How about this one? What do you see here? Give me a few ideas. What do you think this is? Confused. Dummy. What else? That's the one I was waiting for. My stock is down again. True trader spoke. Lost money, frustration, text from IRS on being audited. Oh. WTF. Disappointments. All right. So you see, there is a different story everyone has based on this picture. I just have a quick one for you here. Give me a few ideas. Because remember that the stories you're making, it's the association that your mind is making based on your experience, based on your beliefs, something that you might have seen before or that you might have experienced yourself. Happy to see you again. Grieving, comforting. You see how different interpretation it is. Consoling. Very good. You came back to me. All right. How about this one? She lost the count. How about this one? What are they doing here? What do you think they're doing? Rocky times at home. So you assume that this is actually a couple, right? You see how quickly our mind, our brain makes the assumption. We don't even know if this is a couple, right? It could be two people working together, right? Interview for kindergarten placement. That could very well be. All right. And then I have just two more. Now give me your best. What about this one? What about this one? Well, I'm counseling a younger one. What is about this one? What do you think this guy is doing here? What is he doing here? The first thought. Pickpocket deciding what purse to steal. Perf. You see, here is definitely some bias coming in, right? Some experience. Stalking. All right. Anything else? So most of it is really negatively influenced judgment, right? How about this one? This is the last one. What is this guy doing? Trouble guy. He's hiding. Maybe his girlfriend just kicked him out. Desperate. Or maybe, well, what do we do now? Maybe he's waiting for Uber. Espionage. You see, lost money and now homeless. At least he has a suitcase, right? Guys, applause for yourself. You did so good. So as you can see, we tend to create stories about what we see, what we experience, so that we can feel we know what's happening, right? We judge the situation around us. So that gives us sense of understanding and sense of security, sense of control. And based on those stories we tell ourselves, even though this process goes really fast, we decide how we feel about what is happening. So in trading, when you are looking at the chart and you have entered a long position, let's say, when you see the price going up, you might be telling yourself that everything goes according to the plan and you feel confident in your trade. Unless, of course, you will tell yourself that the price might turn around at any moment. So you better take the profit because you might lose it. And you might be even start looking for signals that will confirm your fear, and eventually you will talk yourself out of the position. Your narrative, the dialogue that you are having with yourself in your head, causes you to start feeling emotions. And then you act upon what you convinced yourself about. So if you want to control your emotional trading behavior, you have to start by watching how you talk to yourself, because it goes so much further than you can imagine. Words matter, every single one. Remember that your subconscious mind is listening, and it's like you are giving an instruction to your subconscious mind to act in a certain way. Let me give you an example that I think might help some of you. I know that many traders struggle with this issue. And in fact, that was, by the way, my biggest problem when I was struggling in the past as well. One of my students had trouble with letting the losing trade go, sticking to the loser. He would just not give up and eventually lose more money than he wanted. Do you recognize this? Anyone? So when we worked together on his transformation, he discovered that every time when he was in a losing trade, he was telling himself, the trade is going against me. And what did he do? He tried to protect himself and tried to fight instead of getting out. Because this is your natural instinct. When something is against you, you will defend yourself, you will fight. And he was able to stop this behavior simply by changing his perspective and his narrative. So now when he saw the trade going against him, he would tell himself that the price is going in the opposite direction than he expected. And that brought him into more neutral emotional state. And from there, he was able to make a rational decision. He did not have that instinct to protect himself and to fight. And there are so many examples of your internal dialogue sabotaging your efforts. For example, you're calling yourself names like, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm so stupid. What a loser. I don't know about you. Maybe you don't do that, but I know I have done that a lot in the past. Just think about it. How can you feel confident as a trader if you talk to yourself that way? Just imagine what kind of emotions that brings up in you. Your thoughts matter. Gandhi said, your thoughts become your words, and your words become your behavior. Your behavior becomes your habits, and your habits become your values, and those become your destiny. And obviously, none of us like to talk to ourselves this way or to sabotage our success. I don't think anyone does this on purpose, right? Or do you do this on purpose? I don't think so. So how come that we do this, especially if there is so much at stake? Most traders want to achieve freedom so they can enjoy life and do whatever they want, right? It's a lot at stake. It's a huge dream. So why would you sabotage yourself? You have the dream, but then you come to your trading platform, sit there in the morning, and in an hour or two into the day, and sometimes within the first 5 or 15 minutes, you are already at your maximum loss. So why would you say things like that to yourself? Why would you talk yourself out of a good trade and stop yourself from getting what you want? And this is a good moment to circle back to beliefs because they are the reason why. And before we move on, just to clarify, belief is just a thought. You just keep repeating it to yourself until you start to believe it and regard it as truth. So the reason why beliefs are so important in our life is because they're like a conductor that orchestrates all that we do. And also everything that we don't do, because remember, if you don't do something, it's also a choice. Your beliefs decide your choices. So if you do not follow your trading plan, or I should say, if you choose not to follow your trading plan, it is in your best interest to find out what belief is telling you to do so. Remember that whatever narrative is happening in your head depends on what you believe. Because in your self-talk, you keep giving yourself arguments to prove to yourself that what you believe is correct, and therefore you are right. We have this incredible need to prove ourselves right. So we look for arguments to prove our thesis, to prove that what we think and believe is true. Your perspective on life, love, work, money, trading, success is based on what you believe. And your trading results and whether you will succeed as a trader depends on your belief about that. You see, the thing is that I could tell you all the success stories of my students, traders just like you, who started this journey the same way as everyone, ended up struggling, some for many years. And then they changed their beliefs and saw their trading improving significantly in just a few weeks. And I'm talking changes like Ed, who went from trying to achieve consistency for 4 years to achieving 17% overall return in the first 5 weeks of us working together. Or Luke, who went from 7 years of up and down and making $15 per trade on average to an average of 15,000 profit per trade in just a few months. But you see, it all doesn't matter because it is your belief that will decide if such results are possible for you or not. And you might get actually a glance into your beliefs just by noticing what is your head telling you right now about what I'm saying. Just take a note. Just become aware of what is it that your head is telling you. It is entirely up to you to decide whether you keep your beliefs as they are or you change them, because that's the control you have. You have control over your beliefs and therefore over your emotions. And in the end, this gives you control over your actions and the results. Having control is great, but it only gives you power if you use it. Just like having knowledge is only useful if you actually bring it into practice. And the only reason I see that why you would not want to use the power you have or the control is because you're happy where you are with your trading and the results that you get. Or another reason could be that your belief is telling you that all of this is a BS and maybe it works for others, but it will not work for you because you have tried everything. Just know that unless you become aware of your beliefs that limit you and negatively impact your trading behavior, this process is just going to be repeated over and over again, and you will keep getting the same results. Becoming aware of your beliefs will help you recognize how they impact the way you think and therefore feel, and why you behave in a certain way. And then you can introduce new beliefs and transition into a new way of thinking that actually supports your goals. And that's when your trading and your life will begin to change. And before we move on, I'm going to skim a little bit through the chat. So I think that's when I asked about sticking to a loser. How did I know? I am very intuitive. I know a lot of traders who struggle with that problem. So it's not very difficult to guess. I found on the rule how to hear what I say and what universe hears. Repeat what you said like echoing. Try it. Just try. Guys, that's a great suggestion. Thank you for that, Vita. I think it's Vitali, right? Probably short for Vitali. I succeeded. I already succeeded. Yes, think and act as if that already happened. Oh, it's Vita. Is it female or male? Because I know Vitali and it was a man. Female. Ah, that's why. Ah, of course. You see, in Poland we have also we changed the end depending on. Thank you, Gary. Depending on whether it's a woman or man. Nice to have you here, Vita. Lithuania, very nice. The concept of thoughts is very clear to me. The concept of belief is not as clear. How do I discover what my beliefs are? Very good. That's a really good question. And thank you, Greg, for asking it. Please hold on to it and we'll pick it up in the end, because we are going to talk more about beliefs. And I will give you some examples as well, so you can start seeing the difference. All right? It's a great question. Really, thank you for asking it. So everyone has beliefs. So beliefs are basically a very strong thoughts. So something you think it's true based on your experience, right? And beliefs can impact your trading positively, but also negatively. So you have limiting beliefs or empowering beliefs. Those could be about money, work, like money doesn't go on trees, or money does grow on trees. Self-beliefs such as I don't deserve to be successful. That's a very limiting belief, because if you don't deserve it, you will not give yourself the chance to succeed. I never had money. Why would I have it now? You see, the belief is just this thought, this concept, a perspective, how you look at things. But you are so convinced that this is the way it works that it starts limiting you in your doing. Because why would I have money now? Like, I don't even need to try, right? So now suddenly it starts limiting you from taking steps. Or I can never win. I am such a loser. That really cuts your confidence. On the other hand, if you have an empowering belief, for example, I turn everything to gold, or I can achieve anything I want, good things always come to me. That is opening you up for new opportunities and takes the worry away. So you are much more open to try new things and even make mistakes, because you know that eventually good things will come to you. Your beliefs, whether empowering or limiting, could have come from someone who said something to you in the past at some point in your life, like, for example, your parents or someone you valued and you believed them. Or maybe you had an experience that caused you to conclude that things are just this way and you kept thinking this thought. Changing your beliefs from limiting ones to empowering ones that support your goals as a trader will give you the true power of control, because you can decide what you are able to achieve, how far you can go, and when to walk away. Speaking of walking away, anyone has a trouble to walk away from a trading screen when you're profitable and then you lose all your profits? That might be one of your beliefs that tells you to stick around and play more. And that power lies in the difference between being reactive and being responsive. So when you get triggered, let's say you got stopped out of the trade and you lost some money, you have a choice. You either react out of your automatic programming, out of your subconscious beliefs, limiting beliefs in this case, or you choose your response. When traders talk about emotional behavior, usually they mean impulsive behavior. That is reacting to triggers. And that becomes an issue when that reaction is based on a belief that is not in line with how the stock market works. So, for example, most people believe that losing money is not a good thing, right? Especially if you put a lot of work and effort into making it, right? You don't want to lose it, you want to make it. That's the whole purpose of being a trader. And that's why they are trying to avoid losses in trading. So the impulse is to do everything to avoid taking a loss, which often leads to losing more money than necessary. There are multiple general beliefs that most people who begin trading take from their everyday life and use as a basis to operate in the conditions of the stock market. Plus, on top of it, everyone has its own personal beliefs gained through the life experiences and the upbringing. And what I see a lot is that the most issues that traders have with, which are sticking to or not sticking to the rules, impulsive behavior, and repetitively sabotaging their efforts comes from that misalignment of their beliefs with how the market functions. Some of your beliefs simply do not work in trading. Let's say they are not compatible with the market operating system, as you will. And now they are working against you and not for you. So if you want your mind to work for you, you need a reset button or an update your software. That's why I like to, we call it a mindset. And I like to talk about changing your mind setting, because this misalignment of beliefs is causing you what in psychology is known as cognitive dissonance, which is the mental discomfort when you get confronted with a fact that is opposite to your belief. And you simply try to resolve that conflict to reduce that discomfort. So taking the example of losing money, when you believe it is not a good thing to lose money, and you see your trade not going in your favor, the best way for your rational mind to resolve the discomfort that you are experiencing is to let the losing position run. Make sense? Have you experienced that? Another example of a belief that is misaligned with the market and that a lot of traders struggle with is you need to work hard to make money. Does any of you hold that belief? You gotta work hard, otherwise you get nowhere. You gotta do it. A lot of work, hard work, a lot of work, a lot of money. Guys, are you still there? Does any of you hold that belief? Because in case that you do, all right, you're still awake. Awesome. You see, if this is the case, you might have a really hard time waiting patiently for a good trade opportunity. You also might be prone to overtrading because you feel the need to do something while you're sitting there, right? I mean, you're not lazy. You want to make money, so you cannot just sit there. I just like hard work. That's actually a really nice example, Vita, of a belief. Now you have to figure out if that belief is supporting you in your trading. Don't work hard anymore. Now I work efficiently and effectively. Very good. Because you see, working hard, that's not why you got into trading, right? You want to have freedom. You want to have a life full of, free time, right? Don't take your 9-to-5 job and bring it over to trading. You want your life to change. And maybe when you have that problem that you feel you have to do something and you're prone to trade when there is no trade, you might be thinking that your problem is being impatient. And you try to work on your discipline. But without finding out the underlying belief and changing it, you're just treating the symptom and not addressing the root cause. So if you find yourself being reactive in your trading and act against your interest, it's not because you cannot control your emotions, but it's because you have beliefs that are not aligned with your goals as a trader. And you see, misaligned beliefs are not just causing discomfort, impulsive behavior, and losing money. They also activate stress response in your body. Let's take a belief about yourself. If someone thinks, I'm a loser when I lose money on a trade, such belief is very damaging to your self-confidence and therefore to your success as a trader, right? So a lot at stake. So it's a threat. So when you are in a losing trade and there is even a potential that you might lose money, a potential for pain of any kind, it could be emotional pain or just even a threatening thought, your body reacts in the only way that it knows to help you survive. So it activates the stress response because based on your belief, you interpret the situation to be potentially painful. But because this is an incorrect interpretation, let's say you by your thoughts, you're causing this false emergency, your body gears up for it as if it was a real life-threatening situation. And if you are exposing yourself to such a stress response on a regular basis, your body will eventually give you signals of chronic stress. And that can include irritability, fatigue, aches and pains that you cannot explain, headaches, or difficulty concentrating, or maybe even difficulty sleeping, and some people get even digestive problems. And you can change that by choosing how you think in the context of trading and what you believe in. So you can align your beliefs to make sure that they do not contradict with the principles of the trading game. This is how you get in the lead ahead of your emotions and begin choosing how to respond instead of reacting. So the secret to emotional control are your beliefs and the narrative that supports them. So listen carefully to what you say to yourself, to your inner dialogue. And if you really want to gain true control and change your trading results by changing the story you tell yourself every day, you can rewrite your future. And if you think you cannot change because you went through a lot, you have a past, you are just like that, just remember how I grew up, in scarcity, fed by the fear of the stories from the war by my grandma. Just to get toilet paper, we had to stand in lines for hours, sometimes for days. And the picture with the toilet paper around, that was a very common thing to see on the street once the paper was there. We never knew when the next delivery would arrive, so the whole family went. We had monthly coupons that limited the amount of meat, sugar, and even shoes that we were able to buy per person. And even then, it was not given that there will be actually something available in the store. And if I was able to come out of that and change my beliefs and create a life of abundance and let go of my fears, so can you. And the only thing that can stop you is your limiting belief. And that, my friends, you can choose to change right now. I hope I was able to inspire you to begin learning more about your beliefs and harnessing their power in your life and your career as a trader. And if you would like to begin that process right away, even if you have never ever done anything with the mindset, I invite you to go to tradingmindsetmasterclass.com and watch my free masterclass that will introduce you to 3 steps of getting in control and using the power of beliefs to achieve what you want. Once you register, you for the masterclass, once you go to that link, and thank you, David, the link is in the chat, you will get instant access to the recording, and also you will be able to download the workbook. Just remember, when you register, you will have to confirm your email, and it might end up in spam, so please look there. It's completely free for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And I do look forward to engage with you in further conversation after you have watched the class or after this presentation. You can also simply go to aheadcoach.com and click on the top banner on the homepage. You will find on my website more helpful resources, free. So you can also get it there and start your process. Well, please feel free to reach out and connect with me with any questions that you might have along the way. It was absolutely pleasure sharing this with you, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. On the screen, you have my Twitter. I still call it a Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And of course, you can always email me at launchyourlife@aheadcoach.com. Thank you everyone for joining and for your wonderful contribution. This presentation wouldn't be what it was without you. So thank you again. Have a great day, everyone.